Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another Kamihime project video. This is going to discuss a recent event that just came out, which ironically is the same exact time for us, basically. It's just off by a day. But it's, I forgot how to pronounce her name. Kyuuei or something. It's hard to pronounce it. But this is going to be a water event, so get your Thunder characters ready. In my case, my Thunder team kind of sucks, but I can still use them. I say kinda because you'll see later on. But anyways, getting into this event is an advent event, so you're on your own grinding it. Newer players is going to have a little bit of trouble unless there's one thing you do have. Well, two technically. If you happen to have one of the two Thunder add-ons that give 100% or more, which would be Kieran or Needhog, you should have a lot better chance on this if you're a newer player. And if not, SSR Diablos, because Mixed Element really can get one hell of a boost with her to the point where you can actually do, you could probably do no less than Expert on that, just out the gate. So you should be strong enough to handle at least Expert if you have one of those two scenarios. If not, you're going to have to level yourself up a little bit. I, for one, have managed to solo an Expert raid using only SSR Diablos and the 3-panel weapons. So that's something to know. Now, there's a bit of discrepancy on it whether or not the panel weapons are worth it, but keep this one thing in mind. If you do use them, keep them split, keep them separate, because it will give you the biggest assault boost compared to just using one. Because stats are split. So, that said, you do want to keep those split if you do plan on using it. If not, just ignore them and get some SR. However you go at it, both ways can work pretty well. Now, avoiding the newer players, there's a lot of good weapons in this for everybody, so I suggest actually grinding this out. Especially considering that I did remember seeing a weapon that gives Exceed, so it will be worth your time. Unless, of course, you hit 100% Exceed. And then on top of that, Ragnarok is how you get the items to get Dragonic Eye Shards, and even in some cases, Final Break Limit, so everybody definitely should be grinding this, period, point blank, at least to some extent. Not to mention there's gacha tickets, there's magic jewels if you want them, there's other stuff you can grab if need be, but we'll go over all of that. But first and foremost, like I said, water event, so Thunder's going to have the advantage. Try to grind out Ultimate if possible, if not Expert. And definitely grind out Ragnarok if you can do it too. And they give their own priority list, but me personally, it depends. So keep that in mind. Now, this add-on is the same as those other special attack ones we've pretty much seen. What it does is give you a 10% special attack boost out the gate, and you get up to 40% more based on the break limits, basically. If there is no break limits, it's up to 20% more. But that's what it does. It's a pride effect, basically, but it doesn't add to your assault, which, quite frankly, if you don't have any 100% add-ons for water, this could help you out. But if you have Rouge or Leviathan, it definitely won't, so that's something to know. Unless you're sitting up using Leviathan and still need some water subs. But, she also increases the burst gauge when you summon her, going by what's here. So that alone still makes her sub-worthy. She's actually worth keeping, but using as a main as a pendant, there's a good chance you're not using any of the special attack add-ons outside of Diablos anyways, though, so keep that in mind. Now, it doesn't exactly say what each of these are, but I do remember the SSR weapon having, the SSR axe having Assault and Exceed, I do believe. But, we'll go into it further because it has lists the actual skills on the lower part of the page. But, as I said before, this is an admin event. Try to clear as much stuff as you can on your own because you don't get any help whatsoever. So, keep that in mind. And of course, they give you different rewards and whatnot that could possibly drop out. Now, they give enemy stats for lower difficulties too. pretty much dealing with the boss with like 58,000. At this point in the game, you should be able to handle at least standard, provided you've leveled your Hime nicely, even if you're doing mixed element. So, beginner shouldn't be a problem, regardless of how strong you are. Standard might, because you got more than double the HP, almost triple to deal with. So that might actually be a difficult time for fresh players, but when you get a little bit stronger, even that's not going to be an issue. Expert is where you're pretty much going to be grinding if you're a weaker player, because you probably won't be able to handle ultimate. So you're going to have to deal with almost 500,000 HP right there. And be kind of careful, because one of the enemies can debuff your team to lower your attack power. So, and they're going to be showing up in both stages of ultimate. But the boss itself, the first action is giving them a permanent defense up. And then when they're in defense up, they give a permanent attack up. So keep that in mind. So your best chance to deal damage is actually on the first turn, if you can. But then it'll give some recovery, some HP recovery, and then remove 2 debuffs, provided the defense boosts up and it's on the max charge turn. But if it's on max charge turn and then raging, it looks like it's going to give a combo rate boost to everyone for like 90 seconds. I'm not sure. It will explain better details right here, but this quick little glance, there's a lot of different triggers for this fight, so be very careful with that one. And keep in mind, this is permanent, so I don't think you can remove these. And even more dangerous, normal burst from this enemy is a random 9 times water hit. So if it does happen to have bad luck and focuses a lot on one Kamihime, you can actually see them die. So be very careful with that. The raging one, it says depends on the buff type. I'm not sure, but I do know for a fact that raging is going to hit everybody, regardless of how you look at it. So keep that in mind. Ragnarok is going to be 2 million HP to deal with, so it's practically more than double. But it's still got the same effects, basically. So keep that in mind. Okay, so it does say you can indeed delete those permanent buffs. So if you have Hime or Dolans that can actually remove this type of stuff, or Souls or whoever, you can get a lot of this crap out of your hands. So keep that in mind. There are some Kamihime that's made for Thunder Element that will do this. They say Ogma and Grilla, or Gryla, I do believe. So if you have them, you can remove some of these buffs in order to help that out. But the enemy burst is definitely going to be a very dangerous one, because of the simple fact that, again, if it focuses on one person, you're going to get hit pretty badly. But anyways, this is the stuff you can get. The axe is going to be the more expensive one, and me personally, I think it's a better weapon. So you're going to have to grind pretty hard. I know I'll probably be getting a water axe, because my water team's starting to pick up it quite a bit. Plus, you can awaken Shiva now, and I'm capable of doing that when I get some more Dragonic Eyes. But I got others that I want to try and awaken too. But you can get the Grimoires if you need them, but quite frankly, other events are pretty good at it. And then Guild Order will hand you those too. Half Elixirs if you need them. I keep saying if you need them in these videos, because the gems, the gem gacha can feed these like candy. Speaking of gachas, you can get gacha tickets. I think Gryla was a raid Kamihime, so there's a chance you might pull her from this raid ticket if you don't have her. But There's a Kamihime weapon ticket and 2 premium gacha tickets. Go grab them because they're cheap. They're extra pulls. If you need to get some raid Kamihime, get the special ticket for them. But I don't think it's worth it otherwise, even though it is cheap. But it is up to you on that one. You can get enhancement materials, don't bother. You can get soul points up to 600. But keep this in mind, you can indeed grind soul points out. This just helps speed up mastery if you really want to deal with that. But magic jewels, I would get magic jewels after you gotten everything else, but magic jewels can get up to like 3,000, so that's a free 10 draw, basically. So you may or may not want to go for that. It depends on how far you've gotten. If you've gotten all the other stuff you want to get, then definitely get the magic jewels. And of course, Dragonic Eye Shards, get those if possible. Those are very hard to come by. Even if you need the Final Break weapons, get these because it's still hard to get Dragonic Eye Shards. It really is. Unless it's pretty much a Union raid event and you have to still rank high with your Union. But, anyways, the Adon herself's got a decent amount of attack power, and like I said, summoning her gives you a burst gauge increase for everybody. So, you do want to actually have a copy of her on hand just in case. Me personally, I will hold on to her, but I'm not sure if I'll use her. It depends on if I somehow get Leviathan for water. Now, both weapons are actually pretty good looking at this. So, first and foremost, this first one is saying that, first off, if you use it on a soul, which honestly you can only use it with the Artanian group, so that's not worth. But it would recover one debuff off of you. But you do want to put this in your grid because it's a dual weapon with medium assault and small defender. And quite frankly, people starting off definitely do need weapons like this because it covers two very primary effects at once, so that's very good. This axe I'm going to click into right here because this still isn't very clear, but I'll be able to tell from right here. Okay, it's a Vigor and Defender, so that's what makes this a little bit special. Now, I thought it was Exceed, so sorry about that one, but this one still can have some use. It can have some use. What Vigor does is massively spike your attack power, but you have to keep your current HP pretty high. If it ever hits 50%, you lose the Vigor effect. So, say you have 5,000 HP, if it ever hits 2,500, you lose the Vigor effect. Now, Vigor goes in a different type of the multiplier formula, and normally you don't get too much Vigor from one weapon, so you need multiple. But keep in mind that it is practically a raw damage increase, if you really want to be honest. So, actually having this in your grid could help you a little bit, but keep in mind that you have to keep your HP up, so it's definitely best in short fights, but also if you can keep your health up. And there's a ton of water healers, so you might actually want this. There's a ton of water healers in even regions, so you could make some very good use for this. Hell, you get a water healer when you start the game, so you probably could make some use out of this Vigor weapon. But again, it's up to you. It is a harder one to get though, so keep that in mind. So, okay, that said, going into other weapons, this sword, medium assault, you may not want it. You may want it, it depends. This hammer is defender, so I wouldn't even worry about it, because there's a better defender weapon, honestly. This can get more defender, but the other weapon gives assault plus defender, so that's something to know. The only one that is definitely you want to go after is definitely that gun, because it's assault plus defender. That's one of the best weapon combos for dual weapons, so definitely get that. The axe, there's only 2 cases I can say you get it. That's if you know you can make use of Vigorous, because remember, Vigorous doesn't apply to Assault or Elemental, or even Special Attack, which the Adon can give. So that's 4 different multipliers. But Again, only if you know you can keep your HP up. Or if you really need it, if you somehow have a Phantom Axe, you might want to get this. Also, there's the possibility of a Phantom Gun, but you don't find too many gun weapons in the game. Guns and magic tools tend to be lacking, so that's where the Phantom weapons for those aren't too great. That's why I usually don't mention those ones. But you probably could have some use out of a Phantom Axe. There's been a few water axes and whatnot. So, that said, you may want to get the axe, but the gun's a definite. And definitely get copies of the Idolin. Now, if this mission is correct, you have to clear Ultimate with Wind Kamihime. But clearing it with R rarity Kamihime is the biggest priority because it'll give you another Dragonic Eye Shard. These Advent events can give you 3. It'll put me pretty close to being able to awaken a Kamihime because I'm at like 6. But clearing weeklies will also fill the gap for that one, so I will get 3 from this event, get a 4th one from the weekly, and I should be able to awaken a Kamihime by the end of the week, as long as I keep up on that crap. But, you do want to clear these missions for extra materials because it speeds up the process, and then they give you half elixirs too, every day if you do it. But definitely clear Ultimate with Wind Kamihime, clear Ultimate with R Kamihime, so it automatically clears the SR mission as well. Clear Expert with SR Kamihime, and the biggest thing is clear Expert and above without using an elixir, so practically without getting your team wiped out. So you do want to do all this. You do want to do all that. But my suggestion to you, definitely the Idolin, definitely this gun, maybe the axe, and then just go nuts on the magic jewels. Or the soul points if you really want to speed that up, but I'd say just grind out the EXP quest and you'll get soul points that way. Well, not soul points, mastery points. Let me rephrase that. Because soul points is only from leveling up. So if you get a rank up, that's where you get soul points. At higher ranks, it is very hard to do that because I am at a very slow crawl, and there's people even higher ranked than I am. I am at rank 111. This is a slow process, but I can still get enough EXP to get mastery points out the gate too, because it takes about a good 20,000, I think, in order to get a mastery point. So this can speed up the process, but if you do buy these out, this is 6 mastery points worth of soul points, so keep that in mind. But the magic jewels definitely have more priority than that. I can say that without a doubt. Especially since those can be your slot extensions if you're not using them for the gacha, and quite frankly, I can still use more Idolin slot extensions, but I don't really get around to it. I just use them for pulls. But anyways, that's all for this. I'm going to give you a little extra bonus because this is going to be on camera and it's going to be my reaction to this one. I've been saving this run for that. But I'm going to run through this Ragnarok fight on camera. I've already set things up except for my team. I managed to get to 64,000 off of this because I started feeding plus weapons to Michael. It's recommended you feed plus weapons to your actual weapons you're going to use first. In the case of my light grid, that's already done, but not for my others. But I still fed plus weapons to Michael anyway because I knew I was going to use her. So it's up to you on that one, but it's preferred to wait. Also, this event has ended too. It's a good thing I went here. This guild combat competition, you may want to get your stuff. This raid event as well, because if you haven't claimed your prizes, go do it. I managed to get enough to order to get all the copies for the SSR because I did manage to pull an extra copy of her, so I was able to get less souls for that one. But definitely go claim your prizes for this guild combat competition. Hopefully you made it to top 500, because if you didn't, guess what? You're probably not getting the Idolin brick. So I managed to get an extra 1,000 medals. I probably could have got more if I would have ranked a little bit higher, but whatever. But I now have enough to get an Idolin brick. That's all I need to really do. And this fed me a crap ton of magic jewels too. But yeah, definitely claim this. Definitely claim this. Now, going back to the task at hand. We're going to go into this. Even if I don't get 100% I'm pretty sure I can clear this. But they're usually pretty good on the 100% Idolans, I've noticed, because a lot more people have them now, so you got a good chance of seeing one, actually. Not to mention 60% Thunderbird's pretty good, too, but Kieran's the one I want. And I'm going to throw my Thunder team at this for once, which I will say without a doubt is my weakest team, but I have skill level all their stuff up to, at least level 10. So, there you go. They even got some 20s in there. I think they got like 3 20s. 3 or 4 of them. So I did beef them up quite a bit. They even got Stinger and Ascension, so if Dion Zet comes in, I got a healer, which gets a heal boost. So there you go. Because I muted this, you're not going to see any, hear any music. So there you go. Not to mention, I don't know how long this is going to take, because things have been kind of iffy on this. Some people mentioned they haven't been able to log in on here. Others might be getting Meatgate. I noticed this is taking a long time to load on camera, so unfortunately if it doesn't load, I'm probably just going to save it for another video. Which might actually be the case. But while we're waiting on that, yeah, see, clearing the cache and the cookie several times and reopening the browser. Loading screen will not end when starting the battle. Yeah, so if you're having issues with this one, just wait for them to fix it. That's all I can say. As much as they say clear the cache and the cookies and all this type of crap, guys, that crap does not work all as well as you think. They keep suggesting it, and I don't know why. Usually it's a case where they have to fix things. Because the server side has been pretty plagued with problems, if you want to be honest, and it's even worse on the app. So, unfortunately, we've been having that recently. There's not too much I can say. The newer characters, I don't know what they do, but they could be okay. I'm not fully sure about that one. Hopefully we get a day extension because they did this crap. Now, only other things I can mention is this. Shiva Gotcha, if you really want to go after her, be my guest. Her weapon is actually pretty decent. Because it actually gives a nice little assault boost, and I think it gives something else pretty nice too. I think it was Vigor. Might be worth it. I'm going to reload this just to show it because it's better that way. Hell, I wonder if I have a Shiva weapon, if you want to be honest. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. All my equipped weapons are skill level 10 or higher. These were Defender ones I was using for the time being. I just got something else. And I got this from the new event if I really wanted to use it. But that's probably going to be fodder. Because it's just Assault. It's nothing really too great. And it's good we got an event like that too. I think this was Shiva's weapon. I got like 2 copies of it. But yeah, Assault and Stinger, that's the other thing. So, this is what Shiva's weapon will give you. Now, here's the whole point of why I said that. That gacha where Shiva's in, she's the only SSR. I'm going to go into it and actually show the rates, I do believe. Yeah, she's the only SSR when it comes to the Kamihime side. I don't know if they get it for Adons too. It seems like they do. Like, I don't think any Adons are going to pop out of this either. So, that means you have a 3% chance of getting her. Usually, the chances are a lot lower. So, if you want to try and get a bunch of her weapon, you can. This can start getting you a lot of Assault and Stinger for water. So this isn't a bad idea to try and spam this gacha in order to get a lot of her Lance. Because it will very quickly get you to final break limit. I could probably try to get one more, but I'm not going to. But, Yeah, normally the SSR rate is 3% for everything. Half of it goes to Adolins, half of it goes to Kamihime, so that'd be a 1.5% chance of any SSR Kamihime, and then that's split between all of the Kamihime in the pool. So she'd have way less than 1% chance. Probably less than 0.1% chance normally. But how this gacha works with her being the only SSR, that makes it a flat 3% rate, is the best chance to get her period point blank or her weapon. I like gachas like this because that means roughly 1 out of 33 pools or 34 pools. That much on average you should get a copy of her. So it's not a guarantee, but that's what the rates pretty much are. Now, this other gacha right here, these are very good. Do it if you can. If you're focused on Thunder, do it. And this one gives you all those gacha weapons that you can get with Dragonic Eyes, so there's a chance with that one. Dragonic Eye shards you can get from this gacha up to 15, so I can really get another eye and a half if I tried. But that one gacha, definitely do that. And I'm not talking about Shiva gacha, but do it if you really want to try and get her weapon. This accessory gacha, because Cavis is hard to get. It's from the Ragnarok thing. You will get 40 Cavis, which I do believe is more than enough to, I think it's enough to get 2 SSR to 4th slot, or 1 SSR to 5th slot. So that's something to know right out the gate. You'll get like 10 of these holy crystals, but the stars is the one you really want. You might get idea cores and all this stuff. You will get copies of ancient accessories. The ancient tiara, definitely. Tiara effect is one of the best, so this is actually worth spamming if you're really focused on Thunder. Me, I'm not, so I'm not going to worry about it. So that's that. And then, like I said, if you can't do anything with this game, just wait for them to fix it, because I was planning on doing the Ragnarok fight on camera, but unfortunately it doesn't want to work, so we'll see. But it says something about this, see, you shouldn't have to go through all this. It says something about cache clear. If it doesn't work, then change the time range to all time. See, that's the thing. It shouldn't have to be that far, and then chances are it doesn't even work either, because I can clear cache on screen, reload all this type of stuff, and it still wouldn't work. I've had that happen to me. And keep in mind, I'm having issues with a brand new laptop. A brand new gaming laptop, so this shouldn't be a problem. So, unfortunately, couldn't do too much on that one. But, where did I get these from, actually? Oh, yeah, this. So, unfortunately, I can't do anything else with that, but I will go do some gacha pools just to make up for that. Sorry about that, guys, but this was unplanned and everything. But definitely, this is the biggest thing about this. We'll get tower medals pretty soon because the next tower is coming up in about a week or two. But this is the biggest thing you want to get. The Idolin break limit. I traded for that immediately. If you don't get this, then you're going to want the gacha ticket set. Other than that, don't get anything else. It's not worth it. Unless you really have medals to spare, then maybe try to get some of this cheaper soul point crap to help speed up that process, but that's entirely up to you if you don't want to do it. I wouldn't do it, me personally, because you could get soul points other ways, but this I don't break limit thing, these gacha tickets, get them. Like, this is the biggest thing. Excuse me. Because now I can break limit SSR Dolans. I could use it on Belial or SSR Diablos, but I won't. Because I'm going to go gacha pulling right here. Let's try for the newer ones. We'll see if it happens on camera. If something special happens on camera. But I'm going to hit skip. And that's even if I see a gold door. Because I want to speed this up. This video's been going on so long. And see how fast my computer is loading all this crap? Okay, see, I got an SR. I didn't get anything, but, say I got an SSR, I don't really want it. Well, I could just get her the immediate 1-star off of that. I can even use it for the Kaisers if I want. But, anyways, that's all for this. The only other thing I could say, yeah, I can't edit it. I don't want to do crap. See, it won't let me show it, but, as you can see, I got Jupiter, I got Cow, I got TYR for the fence break, and then I got Bow. My sub-slots got Thor and Dion set because I don't plan on healing, but she'll come in if I lose anybody. And Thor is overrated. She has that 30-second stun, yes, but she doesn't have much else. She can self-heal, but that's pretty much it. Her buff is only like 1 turn. So, it needs to be a super huge buff where it's just not... Like, Thor is overrated. I honestly say, outside of her stun, don't really use her. And that's if you can even get the, that's even if you can get the 30-second stun off. Jupiter has got a lot better use because she can set up an elemental buff everybody. Bow lowers thunder, resistance. Only for 90 seconds, but you can recast it pretty quickly if you use her reset skill. TYR at least comes with a defense break. She can do quite a bit of damage as well, especially in stun mode. So, that's something that's a little bit overlooked about her. Cow's got a defensive buff for everybody where she'll give like a 40% damage cut that counts as a reflect, I do believe, or a counterattack, something like that. And she gives combo rate buff. So, they all have some better use. They all have some better use. But anyways, I'm going to change to this. Yeah, Michael's got 36 plus, but I don't care because of the fact that I know I'm going to use her. But this is all the more reason why I did all that. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to quit delaying this video. That's all for now. This is going to come soon because I'm waiting for them to fix the freaking issue. But I at least started the Ragnarok fight, so that means I got credit for it, I do believe. So... that means I can do this fight even on another day and then hop right back into it. So, anyways, that's all for this. I suggest to you actually trying to start the Ragnarok fight if you know you can take it on. If not, then don't worry about it. But, other than that, we're just waiting for stuff to get fixed by the looks of things. But anyways, that's all for this. You can try to cache clear and the cookie clear and all that type of stuff if you want. But keep in mind that clearing cookies removes you from any logins, so you're going to have to log back into crap, and that was a problem as well. But, anyways, that's all for this video, guys. More is going to come soon, and take care.